Okay, so when you factor this, you get u minus 10 and u plus 2 equals 0. So your two factors then would be 10 and negative 2. So we're going to plug these back in like we've done every time to say x squared equals 10 and x squared equals negative 2. Okay, and to solve for x, you take the square root of both sides. Remember, you're solving for x squared, which means that there are two answers. So x would be positive and negative root 10, and you cannot break up the square root of 10 at all. So that's, you're done with that. Now go to the other side. X squared equals negative 2. Okay, I'm not asking for the square root of an x to be negative. Okay, I'm solving for x squared. So x would be positive and negative. I can solve that problem there, can't I? I just take out the I and leave my root 2. So this has 4 answers as well. 2 here and 2 here. Okay, we have one last problem. Number 7. 2x to the 4th minus 7x squared minus 4 equals 0. This one also is going to have 4 answers. It's to the 4th power. Okay, so again, it's to the 4th power, so it's going to have 4 answers. We're going to take u and replace it with the x squared. Everywhere you see an x squared, you're going to put a u in. Now, guys, remember this is x to the 4th, so I don't have that, so it means I need u squared. So 2u squared minus 7u minus 4 equals 0. To factor this one is a little bit more work because it's got that leading coefficient. So you want numbers that are going to multiply to give you negative 8 and add to give you negative 7. The two numbers would be 1 and negative 8. Don't forget to divide that 2u back out. So this cancels to give you negative 4 over 2, negative 4 over u. So your two factors are 2u plus 1 and u minus 4. U equals negative 1/2 and 4. Okay, now the only reason I picked this problem, you guys, to do is because the math at the very end is a little tricky. Okay, so that part was all the same, but here's where it gets kind of weird, so be sure you pay attention to this part. I'm going to take these two and set them equal. So I know x squared equals negative 1/2 and x squared equals 4. It's this left one that's harder. If I take the square root of both of these, you end up with x equaling, I'm going to go ahead and pull that negative out. So I've got an I, and this is the square root of a negative, what I have here really is square root of 1 over square root of 2. Some of y'all don't realize that sometimes. Isn't that what that means? I can square root the top and the bottom. Well, the square root of 1 is just 1, so that's 1. But I can't take the square root of the 2, so I'm going to leave that there. Am I allowed to leave a radical in the denominator? No. So you have to rationalize your denominator. So multiply this by root 2 over root 2. Okay? So then on the top you've got square root of 2, and on the bottom, root 2 times root 2 is just 2. Don't forget it was a square originally, so you get plus or minus I root 2 over 2. That's messy. That's the reason I picked this problem, because of the math. Now go to the right side, and you just, that one's a lot easier. The square root of both sides is just plus and minus 2. So there's your 4 answers. Okay, you can start your homework.